know what else is important? The Drunken news, and we need to really get into this because we have a lot, Brian, of Drunken news this week.
Oh, I thought you were going to go for it.
No.
You don't want to read it?
I didn't want to read.
It's not his fault he can't read. Today! Alright, so the first piece of news that we have today, well, actually, you know what? Yeah, why don't you pass that
Brian,
on?
don't even mention it. Here,
We don't speak of it.
You go, you're going, and then I'm going last.
Alright, anyways. So the first piece of news that we have, it's a little piece of Nintendo news. Hackers unlock the NES Classic, uploads new games via USB cable. It's bound to happen. Hackers find a way to fucking hack everything. So.
Yeah, the hackers hack.
Hackers hack.
Hackers hacked America.
Yeah. So, Steve, was there anything
You'll
that
have
you...
to read it because I don't remember what
Yeah,
it said.
so that's...
I don't know. It was interesting.
That's not happening.
He's thinking about potentially unraveling that. He's not sure.
Oh, that was 2-page?
That one
shit,
last
he needs
piece
to
was
check
the
it
last
out.
sentence. I mean, there's a lot of...
A lot of shenanigans.
Yeah, they just go in through a serial cable and they just
Steve,
have...
would you rather talk about what the hackers did, or would you rather talk about what happened this morning?
I mean, the hackers did something.
Definitely not a serial cable.
Nope.
Who cares?
So that's very
Either way, it's all
1990s, I
Spanish
guess.
to me.
So this one goes right back to you.
Yeah. All right. So the next piece of news that we have is Razer the Razer show prototypes were stolen from CES. So
Razer's a computer company.
Thank you. Sure. So apparently a few of their concepts usually never really
The triple
reach
screen?
the light of day. So this is Gary was telling me.
Like, they show off
Just
what
crumble
they
it.
can do. Yeah, they show off what they can do with the computers. They showed off this laptop that literally folds out and it has 2 screens on each side and a screen in the middle, so it has 3 screens on it. And it looks ridiculous. And somebody stole how many of them?
2.
2 of them.
Yep.
And there's a bounty on their heads right now.
Those are the
25.
prototypes. They got nothing else.
$25,000 if you can help find these people that lead to an arrest.
Which
Yeah. Why would you need the 3 screens for the laptop exactly? What's their main goal? Is it for the
you ever
gaming
seen-
laptop?
Yeah.
That's the
what-
gaming
that's
laptop?
what
Okay.
we're talking about.
All right.
So you're talking about you
You
see
need
people
it
that
there.
have
He's
multiple
such
screens.
a scrub.
Yeah, we're not talking about gaming laptops.
Awful.
We're
You're
talking
such
about something
an
for
actual
work.
smurf.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah. Moving on.
Moving right along.
Yeah, we're blasting through this shit.
Yeah, so Microsoft canceled Scalebound. So
Which one was Scalebound?
it's the one where you play.
I was excited for it.
You play as Dante from Devil May Cry with headphones on, and you kill dragons.
Oh yeah, that looks stupid. Yeah, and you
See?
could jump around on them and stuff too a little bit, right? Or ride.
I mean,
them.
the gameplay looks fine.
Yeah.
Wasn't there
It's like hack and slash gigantic monsters.
Yeah. You don't like hack and
You're-
slash, and you don't like.
It's kind of like
deception, so you should probably not
Bayonetta
talk.
meets.
I haven't
Yeah,
seen
that's
them.
cool. Devil May
Opinions
Cry.
need to be heard.
Yeah, Devil May Cry is awesome, and a mixture of that with dragons is fucking sweet in my mind, and the fact that the game was supposed to have some sort of multiplayer concept to it, where you each had your dragons and you go around to these different worlds and fight bosses. I was excited for it, and the gameplay looked okay. I know the last showing was, at E3?
I think it actually skipped last year's E3.
The last time they showed it,
Right to the
it didn't look that good. It looked like an unfinished game that they were far away from making.
Very far.
And it's just, that hurts. That hurts Xbox. Because that's a game they've been talking about for a couple of years
Some
now.
other games highlighted here.
Yeah, so we have a quote from Microsoft to Kotaku and other press. After careful deliberation, Microsoft Studios has come to the decision to end production for Scalebound. We're working hard to deliver an amazing lineup of games to our fans for this year, including Halo Wars 2, Crackdown 3, State of Decay 2, Sea of Thieves, and other great experiences, end quote. So, I mean, it sucks to see games get canceled, but if the game isn't all that good,
I
then maybe
appreciate
just
them-
cut your losses.
I'm
and then-
appreciating them just canceling it and not making us spend $60 on another No Man's Sky.
Fair enough, yeah. No, that's a really good way to look at it, Gary. Like, what if, I mean, nothing I think will ever be another No Man's Sky, but
You never
it's,
know.
Hopefully.
You really never.
it's
No
probably
Man's Sky
best.
out there.
You guys really need to stop with that joke, okay? Every week you just keep saying it. And we all hate hearing it, so stop it, okay?
So nice guy out there. Alright, the next piece of news that we have is a man is launching a Gears of War lawsuit claiming that Coltrane is based off of him.
I hope this guy wins for some reason. I
So,
don't know why.
former-
It's ridiculous.
Former NFL player and wrestler Lenwood Hamilton has filed a lawsuit in which he claims developers of Gears of War used his likeness without permission for the character Augustus Cole, aka Coltrane.
It comes more down to he blames specifically the voice actor, what's his face, Terry Tate in
Lester
particular.
Spite is his real name. But
Yeah. So he almost specifically kind of blames him for the two of them when they used to work together on doing some wrestling thing that they came up with the character.
What was
and
it? What was the guy's name?
Lenwood Hamilton.
I typed in Len Ward.
Yeah.
Hamilton.
Wood.
So yeah, he basically blames him and says that he's imitating him
Yeah.
and being this character.
So Hamilton says that Spite used to work in his wrestling company and they used to talk about creating a video game character. He told this to TMC.
Sounds
not
Also,
legit.
though, the similarity of Coltrane and Hard Rock Hamilton, which was his wrestling name, they're both black. They both played professional football. Cole's number is 83, which is the same year that Hamilton.
Oh,
Get out of town! You should see a photo of this guy. He does not look like Coltrane. Coltrane's number is 87, the same
Guy
year
looks like Coltrane.
that he played for the Eagles in 1983.
I don't know. Let's not
Yeah.
push that off.
But yeah. So I don't know how successful he'll be.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Interesting.
It is very interesting. It does mention something to the effect that like apparently he uses like the headband and the wristbands and the
Another
gold
funny
rings.
thing about it was that he just discovered it now with like the 5th game.
Yeah,
That's
I
come
think
out.
from this picture, I think it's just because of the shitty graphics of the original Gears of War.
Yeah.
It just looks
It's like any
Yeah.
any football player who ever played football looks like Coltrane.
pretty much.
Yeah, like he's a big muscular guy with like a blockhead. He's got really super short hair. He doesn't really have any. He gets a
Distinguishing.
bandana eventually, but they
Yeah.
all wear bandanas, so
Yeah.
he's not like super distinguished. He's just a big dude.
Yeah.
Well, innocent until proven guilty. Move on.
Yeah.
Well-
okay, that was.
Whoa. Well,
Well,
I mean,
legal
the
time.
only thing that we have left is the big news of this
Let
week.
me go with my story. Real quick.
Okay, yeah, Gary,
yeah.
This
get your
is the
story
meat
in
and
first.
potatoes of today's news.
Oh, boy.
So my news story is the banging in Mass Effect Andromeda will be plentiful and good. Producer says.
Yeah, so I saw this too. So I'm really excited for March. I'm excited for Mass.
and I quote, the banging?
The banging.
People are still saying banging?
Yeah. So let me proceed with this.
I
Real
need some
quick.
context to what's going on here.
What
Okay.
the fuck did you just read to me?
The developers of Mass Effect are
Like-
saying you can still fuck in the game.
Yeah. So.
Brian.
I didn't know you could even do that to begin with.
So
Oh, yeah,
part
you
of
remember-
the
you remember
his
Dude, all
Yeah.
the time.
Do
So
I-
part
I
of the
wasn't
news
there.
story is, but one of the most important questions of all has until now gone entirely ignored. Who can you bang? Fortunately, producer Mike Gamble recently took to Twitter to lay it all out. So somebody tweeted at Mike Gamble, who's a producer of Mass Effect, saying, "Who can I bang?" Question mark. He goes,
Valid question.
Valid
It's on the
question.
tip of everybody's tongue.
Yeah. His response was, "So many, and the banging is pretty good."
We'll be banging aplenty.
And that's my story.
Yeah,
So
that's
that was
awesome.
my. So the banging is gonna be good. I
No,
know
that's
that.
not just gonna be good. It's gonna be
I'm definitely
Plentiful.
pretty good.
Yeah, and it's gonna be plentiful. And they talked about the new ship. I think they talked about the Tempest is what it's called or whatever. And they said that you have your own quarters that nobody else in the ship can get into
Just like
unless they are invited.
Yeah.
Wink.
Wink. Like the secretary from number 3
Oh yeah.
who stands next to you.
Mhm.
Yeah, she got invited up.
Who is the girl in 3? Was it the
Kelly.
reporter?
Oh,
reporter.
Jessica Chobot.
Chobot.
Jessica Chobot. Was
Yeah.
Yeah, she got invited up.
I kept inviting her. She wouldn't come up with me.
Didn't you
And then I
smash her
punched-
camera, or was
I
that you?
punched her in the
No,
face.
No, that's not her. You
That
can
is her,
punch
that
the
is her.
reporter. No, you cannannot punch Chobot. You can punch the reporter.
Which is Jessica
Before-
Chobot.
No, there's one who is arguing in the Citadel. I just played it, just like yesterday.
You
no
punched
joke.
him in the face?
The reporter, yeah, she has black hair, and she's like, "Hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You ran away from America, or from the world actually. You ran away from the world, and you could punch her, and then Chobot's in the next room outside there. And she's
Yeah,
like,
they wouldn't let you punch.
No,
Jessica
you can't
Chobot.
punch Chobot. They're not gonna put you in our game and be like, hey, we're gonna punch you real quick.
Yeah.
She's also hosting the Dice Awards, just a side tangent.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool. But yeah, that was really
We
just my
did.
story that I wanted to bring to the table. I felt it was important because we didn't mention Mass Effect through Andromeda is dropping in March.
Yes,
We
it
mentioned
is,
that last
which
week.
I'm
We
excited
kind
for.
of missed the ball on that. But.
Can't wait to
Yeah.
So I
Can't wait to
guess-
bang. So the
guess
other
we can talk about
big March news is
Nintendo.
the Nintendo Switch. So if you follow the
What is
gaming
that?
industry whatsoever, Nintendo Switch is, or
Live
Nintendo
in this
announced
planet.
announced details for their latest console, the Nintendo Switch. There's a ton of different things that we can talk about today. I guess I should just run through some of them, and then we can kind of have a general discussion.
What?
Hold
Justin,
on.
What were you gonna say?
Go ahead, say it.
No.
I won't, because now you want it.
No, well,
All right.
You
No
can't
one
just
wants
do what
that.
you don't want.
no one wants
So-
anything from you. I don't know, start with the price.
All right, so the Nintendo Switch will be released on March 3rd with a price of $300 US dollars. That's not bad.
Reasonable.
I think I was hoping for $250, and
Well,
then
250 would have been nice. It would
yeah,
have
it would've been
nice. but
When
it's
we
still-
get into the accessories, then we would say it would be definitely.
Oh,
It would actually be
Well, I sent the
important.
chart. Did you guys see the chart I sent?
Yeah, I saw
Before.
that. Mhm.
I thought that was interesting.
I didn't say it.
It's
It was just that showed like the
Adjusted
Switch is
for
actually the
inflation.
4th cheapest console ever released.
adjusted for inflation.
Just for
Adjusted
inflation.
for- I did
So
see
it went.
that.
Yeah.
It was GameCube, Dreamcast, Wii, Switch,
Yeah.
and then I didn't read the rest. Well, I mean, I kind of did, but
Well, I
So
mean,
I
it makes
felt
sense
like
since it's
shit.
always so much cheaper than its counterpart, well, at least in the last couple of versions.
Consoles.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
there's apparently various online features, which is going to be a free trial period before going paid in fall of 2017, which is not going to be fall of 2017. You better believe that won't be ready until 2018.
I think you're skipping way ahead what we should be talking about.
Just reading the list.
In general.
Just reading the list.
You want to talk about the online stuff?
What?
I mean,
Just,
I'm just reading.
Are you just
yeah,
gonna go through the list?
I was just going to go through the
Alright,
list and then we can talk about it. So it's going to be region free, so you can buy a Japanese game and bring it over and it should work. Up to 8 Nintendo Switch consoles can be connected for wireless local multiplayer. The square button on the left Joy-Con confirmed to be a capture button. Joy-Cons will have gyro motion, various color variations,
They're usually
neon
pretty
blue,
sweet with
neon
gyro.
red. Motion IR camera can detect hand movements from a pretty decent distance. Let's see. Joy-Cons feature HD rumble technology for advanced haptic feedback. I saw this. They kind of made a slight big deal of it. And it was like, hey, you can tell how many cubes are in this glass. And I was like, oh, that's unique. Cool. I don't necessarily know what you're going to use it for, but
I usually am wondering how many cubes are in my glass, so that's going to be helpful.
But I guess on to the bigger things, the more important things are the games.
So many games.
So 1-2 Switch was the first thing that they showed. It's basically the Wii Sports of this. Did you see that?
And it's not free.
No, it's not free.
It doesn't come with the game.
Full $60.
I kept seeing someone tweet something about Westworld. What the fuck was I seeing?
I don't know.
Not
I don't think it has anything to do with 1-2 Switch.
no.
No, but I kept seeing someone tweet. I don't know.
Yeah, Westworld's actually good.
Yeah.
Did you? Well, I know that. Well, wait a minute. I was the one telling you about. Did you watch it?
I haven't watched it, but I know it's good.
Yeah. Okay.
I know it's a
Yeah.
lot better than 1-2 Switch.
Well, it looked pretty great.
I mean,
No, it didn't.
how many...
You
Rock,
think-
paper, scissors.
Rock, paper, scissors. You don't need a screen.
Yeah.
You can just stare at each other. Draw.
You don't find that exciting?
No, I don't.
Negative.
I think it should have been. So the
I
1-2
wish they could
Switch,
charge
I think should have been
$120
like
for it.
come with the console, like
Yeah,
free,
it
show
should've
it,
been-
show it off, like.
Oh,
Should
yeah.
have been the demo disc.
We'll go through the list first. We can go
The
back.
next game is Arms, which is a boxing stretch Armstrong game, Splatoon 2, and then Super Mario Odyssey, which looks fucking fantastic. We'll get into further. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Fire Emblem Warriors. They just kind of showed that off. They just gave a quick trailer for it.
They also, I think, you should say Final. Yeah, they just announced a direct
for that. I
For
think
that,
it's
a little later,
January 28th or something like that. Let's see. We have Dragon Quest X, Dragon Quest 11, Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2,
Jeez.
Finally getting
Christ,
10 now.
Dragon Quest making it happen.
Shin Megami
That's true.
Tensei. It's a new title. No one really knows. It's way off. They just showed a very brief
2019
trailer.
probably.
Yep, Project Octopath Traveler. So I read this and was like, that is the worst fucking name I've ever heard. And then I saw what it was, and it actually looked really good.
Oh, make your own story.
It was
That's what-
basically
yeah,
just a Super NES looking RPG. And I was like, that looks great. If that's $15, I'll buy it. But
Yeah, it's probably like 60.
yeah, Skyrim, which,
Came out in 2011,
yep.
which is weird.
A game of a remaster of a remaster.
I
I still
don't
can't
even
imagine
know.
this
I
playing.
Go
don't.
through the list.
I don't even know if
Sorry.
that's gonna be.
Sorry.
The remaster. It's
Yeah.
not going to be the remaster.
No More Heroes, I guess, which is going to be a sequel to the first one or the second one. I don't know
Yeah,
how
I've
many.
been waiting for it.
EA Sports FIFA, and they then showed off. They ended it with a new trailer for Legends of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, which will be releasing on March 3rd with the console, and that was one of the biggest things that they showed off. And then this morning they had a treehouse that showed off a little bit more in depth of games.
Well, it was like a 5-hour.
Yeah, they just went. They were like,
Yeah,
"Here's this game. This is what it looks like.
Across
This is
the
how it
whole
works."
day, I think.
And they showed off Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is launching April 28th of this year. So I don't really know where everyone wants to start.
Let's start back at the price.
Okay.
Start at the price. Yeah. I'll speak from somebody that's not a Nintendo fanboy. The price has already pushed me off of everything that all the accessories, the console itself. It's not price friendly for someone like myself. Like it's just like I'm only interested in one game that the console has. And at this moment, I don't foresee another game coming out for it that I would even want. So I tweeted it out earlier today, was Zelda looks like the best game I'll ever play,
Right.
because it's probably going to happen that way. Because just the price for me, $250 would have been like, okay, maybe, but then like you have like the Pro controller, $70, you know,
The extra storage is only 32 gigs?
32, I think.
32
yeah.
gigs, and then you can
But
quadruple
then-
that for $40. Well, if it's only $40 to quadruple that storage, why in the fuck didn't you just
I
put it
didn't
into
hear
the
about
system?
that.
Yeah,
How are
that came
they-
out during the Treehouse.
Oh. It went,
$40 extra, you can quadruple your storage.
so
It goes up to like
256?
Yeah, it goes up to like $250. Yeah, but it's an extra $40. So when I started to have like
That's actually a good price though.
yeah, but my question is, why aren't you just putting that into the console if it's that cheap to do it? Why make us
I
pay for?
Also, my caveat to that, I think it's dumb that it's still 32 gigs, but all of these games are going to be carts. They're going to be the 3DS carts.
Yeah.
I don't
Like
I don't
Zelda's
do-
like 13 gigs,
yeah, Zelda's 13 gigs, which is
and
probably,
the rest of the games aren't going to be close to that.
yeah, exactly.
So like
You're gonna be okay with storage stuff if you find a game on sale, like on the eShop or something like that. But I don't foresee very many people going strictly digital with this.
Mhm.
Maybe that's just me being kind of old school with the carts.
Yeah.
That's just me though. But I think it's fucking so stupid that this thing doesn't have more memory.
Yeah. I'm unfortunately with Gary. From an outsider coming in, there's only, it's a little bit too expensive. But if Mario was coming out on launch and there was going to be Zelda and Mario, I might not be able to resist it.
I agree, and I feel like I think circling back to the price, I think that $300 is reasonable for it. I would have rathered $250.
I don't think 300 is crazy. I don't even know where the 250 came from. Where everybody just expected it to be 250.
I think people were hoping for 250.
Yeah,
I think
I
that
think
300
that's
is
not-
reasonable. I don't think it's out of the realm of.
I mean, I don't think 250 is crazy. Like, it would have been
I
great.
mean, it's not
it
the
would have
500 range of an Xbox.
right. It would have been nice. Like it would have been like, yeah. I mean, they would have garnered a lot of like extra fan. I mean, just not extra
Positive
fans, but like
buzz.
positive, yeah, positive hype. If it was 250, coming out of the gate, $249 and maybe if they bundle the
They can
game,
talk some shit.
Yeah,
they could
that's the-
really
they
have
could talk some
fucking
shit if
crushed
they're
it.
coming out
Yeah.
$250.
So the first thing that I noticed so I watched this last night while it was live, and so the first couple, the first 10 minutes or so, I was like, all right, you're saying a lot of good things. All right, March 3rd, $300. Okay.
I'm surprised you were happy with March 3rd.
Well,
You
I'm just
wanted the
saying,
10th.
if they did March 3rd, they
Yeah.
could have easily done March 10th.
Right.
And they could have had some more. They could
I
have
wonder
had
if they got
another week.
any of your letters.
Maybe. But so they said,
They don't listen to this podcast.
March 3rd, $300. It's region free.
That's pretty good.
That's huge.
It's
because
about time they
it's about time
jumped
they-
back on that.
I'm just
bandwagon.
more pissed about the handhelds because they're more diverse in your different shells. I'm still so butthurt about those the interchangeable DS cases that you can get in Japan.
What?
You work
What's
region,
your-
Justin.
what's your-
Region locking
What
is
is
not.
what?
You
Region-
can't.
No, it's game cartridges.
Yeah, I know because I can't buy one because they're region locked. So if I put my English cartridge in, it won't work.
Mhm.
So it sucks, and I wish they did it. I mean, the console, they're not going to be that many of. It's whack.
Anyways, we're gonna move on from.
He wants the cooler looking consoles.
Yeah.
So
I got
you
that.
would
But
have been
region
49.
locking has nothing to do with that.
It's just a random.
Well,
I
if they're
can't buy
only
it
no, I got him.
region
If they're only in Japan and he wanted to import one, he can't use his American games.
But it wouldn't
Sure.
matter on this, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
I guess, and then also
What we're talking
It
about.
was a stretch, but
Yeah, it was a stretch, I guess.
Full circle. We're kind of back.
Yeah.
The eight consoles being able to play wirelessly local, that cool, great,
I thought that was
whatever.
pretty great.
For a couple hours.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing.
Oh,
They
you're talking
came
about
out
the
with the
battery?
battery life. They said 2.5 hours to 6, depending on the game. Meaning 6 hours for the game's snipper clips,
1, 2.
but
2 hours,
2 hours
2.5
for Zelda.
hours.
Well, it was 3 hours for Zelda. Yeah. I mean,
Which is it's not good. It's not good.
the
So if you
the
go
original
on-
3DS had this issue too.
Okay, this isn't the original.
No, but I'm just
3DS.
talking about- but you
this
have
is
to-
a brand new system
Right.
for this generation, and you're telling me that if I get on a cross-country flight, I'm traveling, it doesn't even last half the flight.
Yeah, that's a huge
That's
problem.
I mean, it's an issue.
You don't
yeah.
even bring it because now
Yeah,
it's just like a liability to break and it doesn't even work. So you would leave it at home.
It's the battery life.
Yeah,
is
that could
an
be
issue.
that's an issue.
Right, but it's not kind of slack. I mean, there's no way around it.
That might not even be a good travel time for some people who take the trains. That could be an hour commute, and then their breaks and stuff like that.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, but just that's a long range of time, 2.5 hours to 6 hours.
Yeah,
That's
that's
depending on the game, right?
Yeah, but that's just a very wide window. And
Had they been it'll be
Probably hard.
anywhere from
It is
3 to
probably
5
hard,
hours, it would have been a little bit more. But it is it's like Gary said, it's a wide
3 to 5.
window.
because I could see them saying 2.5 hours to 6 hours, and it only lasting 2 hours for certain games. Because they put it so low,
Mhm.
they're setting the bar very low for that. So that way, if shit hits the fan when it does release, and it's only lasting 2 hours, or maybe even an hour and a half for some games, they can be like, well, the window was this, and so that game runs at a higher level than this game, so it just opens up a bag that for someone like myself, if I'm on the go or if I want to bring it and I want to travel, then it's just a charging issue, and that's something that
I also feel what you're
Might not
saying,
be
Gary,
a good
because
replacement for
that's all
when-
electronics kind of work.
they first kind of came out and what they needed to do, they needed to come out and hit every point and needed to really blow everyone away.
Mm-hmm.
And all of these little tiny things, which doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot. Yes, it's 2.5 hours to 6 hours. That's a wide window, yeah. But if they were just it's 4 hours is the battery life. That's a little bit less of a red flag than 2.5 to 6. So what they should have done is they should have just guesstimated 4 hours.
Yeah.
Boom, done. All right, yeah, that's a little low, but it's not as low as it could have been. Whatever, move on.
You're trying to sell people on this thing right now.
No, I'm not actually.
No, I'm saying that they are trying
Oh,
to sell
yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So
Well, then you end up with a MacBook Pro situation where you say, oh, this computer can last 10 hours. Someone tests it, doesn't last that long, and then you get a shit ton of negative press.
So you're better off just starting.
I mean, they're just-
than lying.
But
Nintendo was always very
Nintendo's
good.
all about trying to sell as much as quick as possible and then move on to the next thing.
Well, that's not necessarily true. They haven't done it with their last little.
No, I don't
machine that
know
they put out there.
about in what regard.
Yeah.
Classic.
I mean, Nintendo's very conservative with stuff like that. Battery life, their numbers. specs, shit like that. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not defending 2.5 to 6. I mean, but for the size that it is and what it has, I mean, there's no way around it.
There's no like.
So that's the compromise they decided to make.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you know, and the game. I mean, I don't know. I mean, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
So moving on. So the Joy-Cons, they showed off. You can have the gray Joy-Cons, or you can have the red / blue, which is weird. It's not like red on both sides and blue on both sides. It's neon red on one side, neon blue on the other.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I thought that like maybe you have a red one and a blue one, but then you have too many SKUs. That's fine. That's whatever. But then you can also buy them. You can buy both Joy-Cons for $70 each.
Mm-hmm.
So $70 for a pair of Joy-Cons, which I don't know.
It's
It's
more
a
than that, isn't it?
lot.
No,
I
it's
thought it was
70.
like
It's
$90.
$70.
$70 for the Pro Controller, $80 for the dual Joy-Con.
I saw $70 for the two Joy-Cons.
Okay.
Um,
I mean, it's still fucking super
Yeah.
expensive. It's more than an Xbox. And
So remember a couple of potentially months ago by now when you were like, oh, what happens when I need to replace one of these things?
you buy one.
Yeah, and now this is what we're looking at.
Mhm.
We're looking at $70 when one, button doesn't work on one of them.
Mm-hmm.
You're not just gonna be able to buy one side. You're gonna have to buy the.
No,
double.
you can buy individual ones.
How much were those priced
I
at?
50.
think they're 50.
What?
Yeah, they're expensive.
Yeah,
No.
They're
That's a-
they're expensive.
They're basically Wii remotes, I think.
Yeah, at this
On
point,
each-
well,
each
they do
side.
have the
They're
motion
basically a
IR,
shitty
the
ass
rumble
controller.
controller.
Yeah, you're gonna crunch it with your big old hands. Like I imagine those joysticks getting like crunched in.
I mean,
I mean,
no one's
played it, so we don't necessarily know.
It does
but-
look super.
I said imagine.
Well,
I imagine.
I saw a bunch of screenshots, and the Joy-Con with the tablet on it is basically the same size as the.
Yeah, which I'm sure is fine.
The tablet.
But my problem with it
The-
is when it comes off and you're doing the
Yeah,
multiplayer.
the multiplayer, yeah, that
That's
could be an issue.
fucking-
We
So,
8 of us playing. That could be
so
weird.
1-2 Switch, we kind of went over a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of mini games, which
Hey,
is
kids buy these things. you
cool,
know.
which is fine. Yeah, that'd be a great hey,
Here's you bought this for your 5-year-old. Here you
Yeah.
go.
ARMS is the next game that they showed off, which I'm optimistic about only because I like fighting games.
But
So
it's one level and you can only do 8 moves.
this is what. So when I
And they're
first
like,
saw it,
they could block right now, but they just choose not to. Or did you just not show us that you
So-
can actually block?
that's what I'm waiting to see how it actually turns out, because I don't like the whole like, yes, you have to do this. Because when they first showed it off, I was like, oh, this is interesting. Maybe I can play this like a like more of like a punch out.
Yeah.
When I saw this, I thought, okay, this is like an evolved form of punch out, so I'm a little excited about this. And then I saw this motion, and oh, you can turn and curve your
knuckle punch.
and I was
Yeah,
like,
okay.
oh,
Yeah, there's like
come
8
on.
different moves.
Although I will say,
One arena.
new IP, sure, that's great. It's not what I'm really looking for. But then when people are like, they just crank out the same old shit. It's like, well, when they make new IPs, people don't care either. Maybe that has something to do with them in general. It's just like,
Or just don't make a shitty game.
hey,
Don't make it. My problem with it is that when they shove like the motion controls.
That's
down
what I'm
your
saying.
fucking
That's what
throat.
I'm saying. Like, I feel like this game would have done better had it been just like a punch up, where you just played it like this, and then Little Mac could be like a boss character, and then you unlock him and you play as Little Mac. Hey, I don't work for
Who
Nintendo.
knows?
I just have great ideas.
Yeah.
You do. You have really good ideas.
Thanks, Gary.
I believe you, Brian.
I believe in you. You know what I don't believe in? Splatoon 2. I don't believe in that shit for a second.
No.
Is anyone actually excited about this?
I'm not excited, but
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think this, with the system, will probably spur even more competitive play in that game.
yeah, the esports, like
Yeah.
everyone huddles around, they draw plays. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think so.
Commercial.
What? Yeah. I think I agree with
It's a
Steve.
joke.
I'm sure it will revitalize it a little bit, but
it looks
it's,
exactly the same.
that's exactly my.
I was like,
point.
oh, they're bringing Splatoon to the Switch. Oh wait, Splatoon 2? Like,
Yeah,
it looked the
So
same.
that's what I thought. I was like, oh, they're bringing all of the great games for the Wii U that people didn't really play. All right, so they're slowly trickling those in. Like we saw the Mario Kart at the release of the launch thing. They're like, all right, Mario Kart 8. It looks like Mario Kart 8 is coming. And then you saw the Splatoon. You're like, okay, Splatoon. They're bringing that over with some new stuff. That's cool. No, it's a brand new game. It's $60. It looks exactly the fucking same. There's new like specials and a few new guns, and then they were like, they have a bunch of new clothes, and you're like,
Who gives a
I mean, I like my Overwatch
Is that
skins.
not what Overwatch does, though?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Overwatch didn't sell me a $60 game that looks exactly like Overwatch.
That's also
But had you not bought it before?
So what?
well. So like
I'm
for example,
confused with
like,
no, hold on. I want to dig into Anthony's brain. You just compared Overwatch to Splatoon, so speak your voice and
So,
explain.
alright, so what was the lure of Overwatch? Let me just ask this.
Overwatch was pretty much the first of its kind, mending MOBAs with first-person shooters.
Not really, because it did take ideas from 2 other games.
Yeah,
And it did not have any single-player mode.
correct.
So would you say that was a $60 game when it came out?
When it came out, yeah,
That was a full game.
yeah.
I disagree. I'm
Yeah,
with Anthony
I
on that.
don't-
It was not a $60 game when it
When
came
that
out.
game came
I
out-
think we could go back and I think you guys argued that it was not a
Correct.
$60 game when it released.
Also true.
You
But we don't
complain
have any
about
problem
not
with
having.
Splatoon. I mean, with Splatoon 1.
We
have
said
no
when
problem
we
with
bought
Splatoon.
it, we said I was not sure of the lasting replayability because of the lack of content, because I'm used to
There was
campaigns
heavy-
where you're used to these
there
things.
was-
But when you play Overwatch and you play for that long and the game
Now
evolves,
you play now.
Because you
when
like
you
it.
talk
You're-
then, it was heavy criticism of lack
we're
of
not
first
saying that
person play.
Splatoon is.
We're not
a
even
good
talking
game.
about Splatoon right now, Justin. Like we're talking right now. We're discussing Overwatch
yeah,
and its first person,
yeah,
or
it's,
first player.
but it's also made by Blizzard.
I agree. Yeah.
So the updates are fucking consistent, and that's the reason
I
why
would never
he didn't
deny
know
that,
that, though.
but
Yeah.
you weren't a Blizzard. You weren't that big of a Blizzard fan. At the time
No,
it
but
came out.
I know what Blizzard does,
Right.
and I know the updates they do.
You know what
and
they do
can see-
now. This
I
is
knew
a
what they did
completely
before.
different conversation when this
Well, that's
game
why
came
I'm
out.
confused why we're bringing up Overwatch to Splatoon,
So
because
what-
Splatoon didn't have the updates.
what
Blizz-
Anthony was saying that when I said the only difference is that there's new clothes. So what Anthony was saying, isn't that what Overwatch does? He's not comparing the gameplay. He's saying this is why you continue to play it. You're trying to unlock things. You enjoy the game itself. You want more and more.
Mhm.
So when I said it unlocks new clothes, that's when Anthony was like, well, isn't that what Overwatch does? And Justin makes a great point. It's not a completely new $60 game.
Yeah.
Which I said only because I've not bought in Splatoon 1.
Exactly. So
So,
if
to me-
if I didn't own a Wii U and I bought a Switch, and then I could finally try out Splatoon, that makes sense.
It's just a bad look, in my eyes.
I agree. I think that
It'd be like if Overwatch 2 comes out and it's the same maps, it's the same abilities, it's the same characters, and now we've just got
a
new
few-
skins.
Yes.
Then I'd be like, okay, wait, what the fuck is this?
Mhm.
But because Overwatch is, yeah, it's skins and it's events, but that's prolonging the game.
Also free.
Whereas this is just a rehash of the same game.
Also, the game is supposed to come out. It's slated to come out summer of 2017. I am saying this game does not hit until September at the very earliest. Anything that they're vague on gets pushed out for me. Anything that they say summer, holiday, pushed out.
So then let's talk about the next game.
Which is Super Mario Odyssey,
Yeah.
which is one of the coolest things they showed. So I saw it and I was like, okay, it's in. So they first show it off. It's in kind of like this real world New York setting.
I fucking hated that.
Really?
I thought that it was very off-putting, but I was hopeful. Gary and I had different opinions
So
when I saw
my
it.
question is the home, like what they showed off in the beginning, is that like a home base? Is that one level?
So my
was
thought
thinking
is
one
that
world.
it's called New Donk City.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking that it has something to do with Donkey Kong. It is like an alternate universe type of thing where he's in New York, but there's also these humans, which is really, really weird because he's technically a human, but he's like really short and these people are really tall. I think that is the central hub, similar to Bowser or Peach's Castle or Delfino Plaza or.
I've heard them using the word sandbox when
I really hope that's not fucking true.
No, it is. It's a sandbox.
I
It's
heard
open world.
I heard the
Yeah.
word
That's
sandbox
what
used.
That's why, like, when I saw it and then heard people talking about it, I'm like, this doesn't look right. It doesn't look right. It's not what I wanted. I was looking for like a Super Mario 64.
I was weirded out by that, but I thought by looking at it, my first impression was that was like Earth world that he was going through. You do it for X amount of time, and then you travel somewhere
it's a
else to do
sandbox.
something else.
It is sandbox.
Me personally, the way that I saw it, and I interpreted
Yeah,
it, was
it's the
that it's
plaza.
the main hub, and then you go
Yeah.
to these different worlds because they showed very little of those little worlds, but then they always return back to that main one.
Something like that. I mean, I also heard that. Yeah, I heard something in this vein of like one is similar to New York,
Yeah.
but there were others. Like there'd be,
Oh,
you know.
so it's like he goes to Boston, he goes to New York.
I heard
he
they
goes
were
to
gonna do different
Dallas.
cities.
Cool. I mean,
So I
could-
don't know.
Something new.
Yeah, it's
Something
also
new.
the hat.
It just
is-
was
has-
off-putting to see him.
It was just weird. It's
was
not.
weird as
It
hell.
wasn't off-putting. It was unexpected to me. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, like what the fuck.
That's not
But then I
something
saw him
was
like.
expecting.
It was kind of cool in the sense of
Scale
the
was
platforming because I was like, oh, if you're jumping on building platforming, I thought
Yeah.
that was like, oh, okay,
Yeah, because then
Huge,
he can
huge
like
tubes.
that could
yeah.
be kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know.
Diploma.
Does that come out on holiday?
That comes out in holiday of this year, so
That's the only game slated for holiday. When you look at that little
Yeah.
holiday box, they
That's
got.
the
So
only thing.
which ones? Wait, maybe
Or
we'll
what?
skip over it.
yeah. So and then you have Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which I know that you're probably pretty amped on.
Yeah.
It did look pretty. It looked
Yeah,
all right.
I still have the same problem I did with the characters. Still look the Japanese. They kind of changed it a little bit, made it actually like a little bit more drawn.
Mhm.
But like this world's beautiful, and then you get this
Like pretty dull
typical
looking.
Japanese character.
Does that game come out this year?
Is that on anything
I don't
else?
think
I
it
can't
has.
remember, I saw the
I don't think it
no,
has a
it's
date.
Exclusive. Monolith does
This is just gonna
So that's
be.
next year.
That's next year.
Okay.
Fire Emblem Warriors, which they just showed off a trailer for. Not even a trailer, just a cinematic thing. It was just somebody saying something, and then they pull up the sword out of the ground.
I don't give a fuck about Fire Emblem to be honest. So
You got Dragon Quest 10, 11, Heroes 1 and 2.
so
So
finally get 10.
the 2 hack and slash, and then the 2 JRPGs.
So
Yeah.
10 is brand new. It hasn't been out on
It's been
anything
out now.
before.
10's been
It's-
out for the last 7
It's
years.
never
Oh,
come
shit.
to the West though.
We've never been able to get
So
it.
region free, Justin.
No. This is they're finally actually bringing it over to the West, which is good.
It was a
Region free.
Wii game.
Yeah, but I think is it like a anyway? They
I
didn't
don't
really
know.
show anything off. Shin Megami Tensei, they showed off just a trailer for it. Again, super far out. Project Octopath Traveler, which is the SNES looking game. It's like Final Fantasy IV-esque looking. I was a huge fan
Oh,
of
this
the
was
way
the
that
one
it
you
looked.
like, shitty name, great.
Shitty name,
Great.
Yeah,
great
it threw me
looking.
off with that.
So no date for that. Then they brought out Todd Howard to talk about Skyrim. That's supposed to come out in August.
Dude,
it
he
the
must just
remaster?
they must call him and he must just like roll out of bed like, what am I talking about? Skyrim? It's like so many years later. It's like, all right, sure. I got those. Like, he fills his briefcase with like helmets and swords
Brian,
and shit and just goes to work.
I noticed that it doesn't say remastered.
I don't know what it says, Gary. I know it says
says
Skyrim, but I don't know what the hell it is. And so when I originally saw this, when they were showing it, it looks a lot like the remastered version. But they haven't really said if it's going to be or not. So,
You would think that they would say Skyrim
How
remastered.
did the clouds look?
I mean, they
How's
they
the
didn't
water?
glisten.
Justin, did you see the water?
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't tell because a lot of times they don't really show you what you're gonna
But
get.
do you think, like, if that's the case, right? Just throwing it out there. If they don't release the remastered version, it's the Skyrim just original.
Well, then I have to ask, like, how the fuck does that even happen?
Because maybe when you're going portable, it can't handle the remaster.
Well, that's a
version.
question
That's my
that I'd be curious about that. That's a good point. Like in general about the hardware.
Yeah.
Like what?
Because it scales down to 720p.
Well,
when it's
right.
portable.
Well, it's the same thing with like the PS4 Pro or the other that situation. It's like where do you draw the line for what is it?
You draw it at Skyrim Remaster.
I guess I don't know.
That's where we're going.
I was
We
just-
can't
No, but I meant the
compare
line of like,
all the hardware
where do you
I couldn't
where do you
imagine
say you
it
can
being
decide,
handled.
Yeah.
you know, or like
I
how
feel like my
how are
Xbox
those
can't even handle
decisions
it. You know?
Yeah.
It still has
made,
problems.
you know, in
Well,
regards.
that just concerns me. Like I said, like I'm just outside looking in. You
Right.
know, I'm only intrigued by one game, and when I'm thinking about whether to buy the console or not, when you see that it looks to me from the outside that it's not the remastered version. And if it's not the remastered version,
You're playing
then
a 6-year-old game.
you-
All right.
and then on top of that, then that scares me about the hardware inside of it.
And it's not
what
even
it can
coming
run.
out on the day that the thing
Well,
released, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a launch title. But to me, it's just like moving forward, AAA developers, making games for this, if they can't even handle remastered,
Why
Well,
are
that's
we gonna get?
I mean, that's a concern. I agree. Like,
That's
I
why
mean, I would
E3
err on the
is
side
gonna
that it's
be huge.
probably the remaster. I mean, it makes sense for it to be the remaster.
I would hope
But,
so.
right.
That's my sentiment.
Yeah.
It's like, how the fuck are you if you're
Waiting for Fallout,
like,
so.
why don't you just throw Fallout 3 on there as well? Like,
Yeah.
Why isn't it
I don't know.
Fallout 4?
Yeah.
Justin, like, why isn't it Fallout 4?
but moving on from
we
that.
don't want to talk about a 6-year-old game.
Yeah. No more. They brought out the developer or the.
Just grasshoppers.
Yeah, and it was just like, hey, I don't really know what I'm talking about, but here's a character I really like, and I want to make a game for the Switch with this character in it. Peace. And that was literally what he said.
Yeah, the dude was kind of a little bit off his rocker.
He's probably on drugs.
The translator had no idea what to say. It was
Yeah,
the funniest thing.
That
ever.
was the poor translator was like, so he like came out and he was like, yeah, and then he was like, oh,
That didn't go as planned.
he was like, that didn't really go as planned, did it? And the translator was like, yeah, that didn't really go as planned. So he was speaking in Japanese, and the translator was just like, you were just mumbling incoherent thoughts, and he was just like, yeah, I'm really excited to try and make a game with this character. Yeah, and thank you. Like, the guy was just rambling on in Japanese, so obviously I didn't know what he was saying, but the translator sounded like he was like,
He stalled.
Could have been a fake translator.
yeah, I don't know what the
We're
hell
gonna
he's
need that
talking
before.
about. But and
Too
then
close! Get him out of there!
they brought out somebody from EA to talk about FIFA, and
Which
then
is big for...
The biggest sports game in the
Yeah,
world.
it's-
FIFA's huge, and if you
Yeah.
bring it to a console, it's going to sell.
yeah.
That's actually interesting with the hybrid of it being a handheld,
Yeah.
and
FIFA on the
I
go.
think that could be
Yeah.
quite interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
Take it
big
to school
game.
By the time the bus gets
Every
there,
time I
it's
see
dead.
video of that game too, it actually looks pretty, like not that
FIFA's-
particular, but
FIFA's
FIFA in
awesome.
general.
FIFA's
I see
pretty
it
awesome,
and I'm
yeah.
like,
It's
that
crisp.
kind of looks like I'd
People
probably
will-
enjoy
They
it.
will kill you. if
It's
soccer's
crisp
not accurate.
gameplay.
You know,
And I mean, in other countries where,
Yeah,
potentially they don't have access to all the different consoles, it will be cheaper, and that's the big sport for them. So I think it's smart
It's
that they
more
went
of a
with,
viable option.
with soccer
did they even put a FIFA on it,
like
like a
NBA?
3DS
over
or something?
NBA. Yeah.
No, it's never really. They've never had any like EA games on the 3DS.
They had like Madden, didn't they? They had a Madden.
Mm.
Yeah.
Back on baseball,
Maybe
but-
on like a
Advanced.
DS,
It was
but
on the
definitely
Advanced,
not
I
definitely
think.
not 3DS. But and then the last huge thing was they showed off a new trailer for Breath of the Wild, which looks great. And I think that's what everyone's really excited about. They
Game
said
sucks.
it's going to be March 3rd, side by side with the Switch itself. And then they didn't show this off on the presentation, but later
At the end.
they showed off Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
They were playing?
They didn't show it off during the presentation at all. It was the treehouse
Madden
today.
NFL football for the 3DS is $30.
What? Okay.
Just saying.
Must
It
be
also
that great.
comes with a slice of humble pie.
So that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe doesn't come out until April 28th, 2017. So, I mean, that's
I have a problem
really,
with that.
yeah, I think.
Why the fuck is that not a launch?
It's
Why
that
the
what,
fuck-
one map,
Yeah.
couple characters, battle mode,
Mhm.
and you couldn't get that done for launch?
I mean, I'm with you, so we're through that. I'm with you in the game department. What the fuck is going on?
So
You just had 3
Plus
years
years?
of basically no Wii U games.
Yep.
Most of them, like them reorganizing their company, well, the
The
developers,
Oh,
to structure it so, because we obviously now know they're basically combining their handheld and console divisions
Mhm.
to make it easier to make games or whatever. What the fuck is going
Where the hell
on?
are
Like, you got a Mario
So,
game that's now
We
coming out on
thought
holiday.
we haven't had any Wii U games because
They
they're
were-
coming, man.
yeah.
They're coming.
Yeah,
Like,
and so the
we got
launch
Skyrim
is
Mania.
what?
Not so
6
far.
games? 6, yeah. It's
How many
6.
come out launch?
It's
Which ones come out the day this console comes out?
The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, 1-2 Switch.
Splatoon?
No.
No. I could have sworn I saw that.
April 20.
No,
Oh.
that comes summer.
Oh,
That's
you're
in
right.
summer.
All right.
So look for that in September.
Wow.
So I'm telling you right now,
Very
September is when
I don't.
it's-
I
So
think.
we're on 2 games.
I
We're on
don't.
2
well, I'm
And
not
then-
in complete agreement with them pushing back some of these games, like you say. I do think because of what they're doing now, that they probably will hit. I mean, it's some. I mean, I agree.
We also just thought that they were gonna have a great launch lineup.
That's
And-
what-
Well, no, I was nervous about that.
So as of right now, you've got 1-2 Switch, you've got Breath of the Wild, which is also coming out on Wii U same day, by the way, so you don't need to get a Switch to play it.
And they haven't really specified what's better on Switch versus Wii U
Not really.
with Zelda, right?
There's no difference, I guess.
Okay.
So,
if
and
I
then-
actually, for me, I might actually
Buy a
pick
Wii
up
U?
a Wii U and
Yeah.
play Zelda.
Oh, you could take.
There's
That could
Bomberman.
be cheaper.
There's
What's
Bomberman, I
Superman?
think that's.
Well, we didn't even talk about Bomberman and Street Fighter.
Oh yeah, Ultra Street Fighter.
Well, because these aren't
Two.
these Super
Yeah.
Nintendo games.
They're basically Super
They're
Nintendo.
Super Nintendo games that are then have the online. I mean, we didn't even get into the virtual console stuff.
Which is also
Oh, the online
the online
stuff.
services. I mean, overall, like at the end of the day, the console is still interesting. They fucked up on all of the games and the
It
price
feels
points.
I was
still
telling you at the earlier, I think it's a mixed
Yeah.
bag. I think there was a lot of things. There was a lot of things I was like, yeah.
I'm not hung up on
Great.
the price, but
Yeah.
I'm just upset that
And
it's
then-
like it's like a letdown. It's like, oh,
So,
we
I spent
like,
$600.
I don't think the price is a letdown.
No, no,
I,
I'm
no,
not
no,
on the
just-
price. I mean the games for
Oh,
me.
the games,
for
yeah.
me
I think the lack of games
Yeah.
is the
No,
letdown.
I
Well,
wanted
they
a
missed
new
out.
Mario Kart. I wanted,
A
the
new Mario,
the new
Zelda,
Mario, and the
and-
Zelda. because
I didn't think
three.
I didn't think we were gonna get a new Mario Kart. But I didn't. If they
I wanted
did
it.
what they did with, I mean, 8.
This is what they
They
need.
need to port that over
They needed
in a
to
way,
port-
and it needs to be a fucking launch game.
What they needed to do, they need to have Zelda, which they have, but then you need to bring Super Mario 3D World over, just port it. Who the fuck cares? Just port it.
There's
That's
a lot of
launch
games
title.
they should have ported
All
over.
of the Nintendo Selects should be Switch games for $20 at launch.
Yeah.
You have all of the Wii U games that were great that people wanted to play but didn't buy a Wii U. They could then do that, right? And then you go, okay,
Might forget.
Splatoon 2 is coming out in September, or summer.
Summer.
And then Mario is coming out, later in the year. You have the Mario Kart.
I always- I
You
thought
show
Mario's
off
in the
Metroid or some other big tier game. You
Well,
show
will
that
get-
off.
You will get E3 beforehand.
Yeah, you'll get E3,
E3
but
is going
that's
to be very
not-
interesting
yeah.
when it comes to
but you also have to remember they've been like Steve said,
No,
they've
it's
had
true.
3
I-
years to be working on a new Mario game, and they're saying it's not coming out until the end of the year,
That
which
was what
means
was-
they don't have games to stagger. They're stretching out the launch from March to November
That was what
for
was
their
ex-
2 big games.
extremely
They don't
interesting.
have. What else are they working on? Are they going to show us a Metroid at E3? Are they going to show us another big Nintendo IP at E3 and then go, oh, that's coming in summer of 2018,
Bond.
meaning holiday of
James
2018?
Bond.
Like, they didn't show us what they're working on. They showed us a few new IPs and a few
What-
Japanese games that aren't going to get the market excited.
Well, I didn't think they were going to show us what they were working on, but I thought we'd get all the games that they were working on.
You didn't think they were going to show us what they were working on?
No,
Wasn't
no,
that
this
the-
wasn't
No,
the,
just
no,
like-
not the. That wasn't the point of this conference. It was to show us the games that are like ready to go. Like, there's no point. Well, yeah, exactly, but that's the problem.
That's
the
ready
problem.
to go.
Like, it's not. This wasn't a conference to be like, oh, here's all the games that may, will
If
be
all
coming
of
out.
these games-
This
Like,
was supposed to be.
be like the games that are.
This is supposed
This
to
is
be
a launch,
Yeah.
so they're supposed to be showing us like
Launch
like
window
in-
games.
right. and-
So let's kind of get off the games for a second. The online like services that they have.
I mean,
So my question, I'm confused on how a lot of
oh
them
yeah,
work.
there's a lot of
So I'm
confusion.
sure there's a lot of confusion, but like my question is like what is the deal with the voice chat?
I mean, I write a bunch of stuff, so it's somewhat vague. Right now, as it's written, it seems like
It's an app.
it's an app on a smartphone.
Where do you have to have headphones for your phone?
Well, or whatever. I mean, however you
That's
can
so
use
Japanese.
to talk through the
Well,
That
there's
is-
there's
If it's
other,
just a phone,
there's
I don't
other
know.
apps that are already out that use that. So-
But for a console though?
oh no, I'm just saying in general. Like there are other things where, like for MMOs, if you're playing, I know Final Fantasy 14, for example, you can play on PC, PS3, PS4, and they don't have native voice chat through those three different platforms. But if it's a free app.
Yeah.
You just do it that way.
Like fantasy chat online. Bam.
Sure.
Yeah, but that was just weird to me.
I thought it was
the
odd.
console didn't have its own voice
No,
chat
I agree. They
communication.
also don't have any achievement trophy system, which I know is just nitpicky at this point, but like, I really
Well, they didn't
really
announce
enjoy
it. I don't know
like,
what they'll
even
do. I don't.
keep the stickers.
I have a problem.
No.
Well, I mean, I have a whole problem with their. I mean, who knows what they're gonna do? But I have a problem with the whole. Well, this wasn't part of the presentation, but the revamped.
Virtual console thing.
No, my Nintendo, whatever the fuck it is.
Oh, they're getting rid of Miiverse, which is good.
Right, but like that service now is shittier than the old one, whatever where they gave you the rewards for the
And then they
game.
made everybody
yeah.
cash
Their
out.
whole service.
Right, you could get cool shit, now you can't.
Yeah.
But that's nothing to do
And
with this.
then
But
what about the fact that like they said like if you once they have like this online service you'll be able to like play like buy one game for the month but then you lose that game at the end of the month.
right, that was also confusion. So it's a paid. All right, so it's a paid service now, similar to
Yeah.
Xbox and PS4,
Yeah.
which is fine. I think it absolutely should be. They also said, you'll get 2 free
Virtual console.
Virtual
games
console
for
games.
the month.
Yeah, right. That's what we found out after.
Yeah, you
It
don't
seemed
go
like it was
buy
going to
it.
be like, you get 2 free Virtual Console games and you keep them or whatever. Or you keep them
Like
as long as you
each
have the
month you
service.
get 2,
It
like
seemed
how
like a
they
rental service that we all
Yeah.
would want.
But it's only
But
2
it's
games.
only up until the service launches in the fall. And then you don't have those anymore.
Yeah.
You have to buy them, I should
Well,
say.
after a month they go away. Even if you still have the service, you don't get to play those games the next
Right,
month.
it's a
It's
month?
just
I thought it said up
like
when
free
it
for 30
fall.
days.
Oh no, it launches in the fall, right?
Yeah.
Free for 30
No,
days.
the paid
It's a
version
free
launches in the
trial.
fall.
It's a free trial.
The free
until
trial
the fall.
goes until the fall.
Yeah.
I thought the games
Yeah,
went
but
until
when
the fall.
when you get the game for that month, but you get to play for 30 days and then you
Yeah, and then you have to buy it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
it was all confusing.
Their whole online service is very weird. I mean,
So
when it started, it sounded like it was going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's the whole thing.
you know.
The entire press conference to me, they were like, yes, 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 this is all things that I want to hear, and then it came to a fucking screeching
Right.
halt. And with a lot of things that they didn't say. My takeaway is I still think that the console is very interesting, very unique. I think that the games that will eventually come out, I will play, but
Yeah.
other than that, it is another Wii U that is going to bomb hard.
I would agree with that.
I would
And that's
actually
bullshit.
third that.
Yeah, I don't know yet.
I think it might be more successful than the Wii U, but not by much. I think it'll have its initial wave of people that want to get it, and then give it 2 or 3 months, and they'll just be sitting on shelves.
I mean,
That's all
it's
it's
possible. I don't know. I
There's
don't know
no-
where I
there's no
sit. I don't know
games.
where I
There's no
stand
games.
with. No, you're.
People are gonna
I would
forget
100%
about it.
agree with that. There are the game.
Had they been
situations
like
are-
3 months, all of these games are coming out. Like this is all of these games.
I
will
think
be
I
out
don't get.
for
I mean,
E3.
if all it really needed, if it launched with the Zelda and it launched with the Mario, I think it'd be.
And Mario Party.
Well, Mario Kart 8 would be a nice little like
I would-
icing on the cake.
I would have rathered Mario be 2 months or 3 months away. So it's like you play Breath of the Wild, you play all these
Well, I
little
mean,
games,
that would be-
and then boom.
But
there's your
imagine
Mario.
like a launch where it's like, think about it. I mean, it'd be kind of, it's like if you think like to a kid, oh shit, like I have to choose between. I mean, I get to choose between a Zelda and a Mario like game. If you don't have the
Yeah.
cash,
It's a kid.
it's like kind of like and if it I mean like
And there was no bundles, right? Like
No.
it wasn't straight up
No.
disc
There was
game.
no.
I think that's
And like
kind
the
of a
collector
stab.
edition for Zelda is how much, Brian? I know you know this.
The collector's edition for Zelda, the Master Edition is $130. The Special Edition is
What comes
$100.
with that?
You get a
Sword.
Master Sword
That looked
statue.
flimsy as fuck.
You get
like all
map,
wobbly.
coin, a bunch of like Zelda stuff. So
Yeah, so if you want to buy that Zelda edition plus a Pro controller plus the
The-
Switch, you're spending $600 on launch.
500.
$70 for a controller, $130 for.
well, I don't
game,
the special.
the console is
Let's just do the game as a normal
So
price.
my math is correct, $600. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Why don't we
Do
just
math.
do the
Good
normal
math,
price?
Gary.
Don't special editions. Good fucking fanatics.
But yeah, that's really it for the news, and I mean, Nintendo is the big thing. We're gonna take a quick break and come back with what we're doing on the site.
But
Oh wait,
Yeah,
Anthony. Yeah, sorry. But
we would have.
but we did get a question this week, and it's actually from our buddy King DJA.
King DJ.
So King DJA sent us a question, and he just wanted to know what our top 5 most anticipated games for 2017 are. So I don't know.
As follows.
Do we want to just list them out and then go
Why
around?
don't we do like we did before? 1, 1, 1, 1, 2,
All right.
3, we go around.
Gary, why don't you start?
Zelda.
I have
Took it from you.
I'm still gonna say it, so go
I
fuck
also
yourself.
I also have Zelda on there.
I have
And
Zelda.
now I'm gonna buy that shit on the Wii.
I'm gonna cross my Zelda out. I have Zelda.
Okay.
So that's
That's
definitely
one down. One down for Justin.
Horizon
Zelda.
Zero Dawn.
I have that too.
Robo dinosaurs, dude.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mario, I think. Yeah.
Yep. I don't think that's a 2017 title, so I didn't write it down.
Well,
I don't either.
Here's
here's hoping.
I would say Mass Effect Andromeda.
I have Mass Effect
I have
Andromeda
Mass
as
Effect.
well.
Banging
as
will be
well.
plentiful.
Banging will be plentiful. Cuphead. I think Cuphead.
Yeah, Cuphead's not a 2017 title. Get the fuck out of here.
That game needs to fucking.
Yeah.
Well, I know it needs to be, but
It needs to launch.
hoping for Crackdown 3.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I think that's a 2018 game as well, but maybe.
I'm
early.
hoping. This
Yeah.
is what
Hey,
my wish is. He asked me what I'm wishing for, right?
I hope with you, pal.
That's what I got.
So I'm gonna throw this off. I'm gonna do Neo.
What?
It's supposed to be a Dark Souls game. It's made by Team Ninja.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
You mix in some surge there.
I haven't seen anything on it. I'm
Just hoping.
Yeah.
Just fucking here's hoping. 2017, baby.
anything like Ninja game
Yeah.
would be a success. But
is Dragon Quest X
Sure.
supposed to be 2017?
Supposed to be.
All right. I'm gonna. Well, I've been waiting like this is 7 years, so
Yeah. Dude, don't
any
don't worry.
years.
Yeah.
Good
Gary,
on
you
that
got
one.
anything else?
I'm gonna say below.
Okay. Very nice.
Below
That
on.
I've seen that at PAX East. Like
I waited
5
in line for like
years.
fucking hours for that shit, and I never even got to play it.
Mhm.
And it looks fucking awesome. Dungeon crawler. It looks to be some sort of exploration game, top down. Fucking sweet.
Ukulele, actually, the Banjo Kazooie.
Oh, I thought that was gonna be
spiritual
canceled.
successful.
April.
No, it's coming out in April.
Oh, for some reason I thought you said that.
No.
Interesting. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I got Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah. I mean,
Who
obviously.
doesn't?
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Yeah, who the fuck doesn't want that?
I still think that's probably going to be pushed
back.
out to
Brian's just
2018.
negative.
Brian
today.
hates 2017 already.
I think 2017 is just not
all
the
the
year.
such a
years to
piece of
see if
shit.
everything being pushed
Yeah.
I'll
out.
have one more left. Go ahead, Boss Dog.
Do you have anything else?
No, it's true. I don't think Nintendo's gonna hit the other mark. So
I don't think anything. I'd like to see. No. Go.
Beautiful Joe.
Beautiful Joe.
That would have been a
Holy shit.
great Switch
Yeah.
launch title.
Well, they're doing Red Dead, so probably not gonna see a Grand Theft Auto at all.
No.
No, we won't.
I'd like to see a trailer.
And they
for
still
that.
they're
Didn't
online.
know.
I think they're still fucking with their online, so
Yeah,
they're still
I think
making.
Actually, I
money
did see
off of
something
that.
about them fucking
Yeah.
with their online recently.
You got anything else,
Snowball
Gary?
fights and stuff.
Yeah, I'm excited for Prey.
Oh yeah, that does look really good.
Prey looks like a mix of Dishonored, some horror, Doom-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prey looks fucking sweet. I'm down.
I don't think God of War is going to be a 2018 game, but you said that earlier, and I have it on the list. But the game, Injustice 2.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fighting game fan, and I love the DC universe, so it's just perfect.
Yep.
So I'm excited for that too.
I got the fractured butthole. South Park.
I mean, who's not excited? for
That's
that
gonna be awesome. That's all mine. I'm
yeah,
done.
that's really it for me. I don't really have anything else.
So King DJ.
Thanks for the question. His
One
real
last
name.
game.
Oh,
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves. Yeah, I had that written down, but I put the fractured butthole in front of it. Sea of Thieves looks really fun.
Sea of Thieves.
Still not sure what it's gonna be all about, but
I'm intrigued.
I want to drink beer
Pirates.
with you guys and
Yeah,
steal
we
a
can
pirate
hang
ship.
out.
yeah,
I gotta
I'm.
figure out my Xbox situation, but
Yeah.
we can make things happen.
Yeah.
We could just fucking rob people blind.
Yeah, we all have PlayStations.
It's only
on
Xbox.
Oh shit.
or some PC.
Well, we're not elite.
We're not lead.
We're not elite.
But thank you very much, King DJ, for your question. If you guys have any questions that you want us to answer, you can send those over to
you should
Brian.
let us know what his 5 were.
Yeah, actually, let us
Damn.
know in the comments below. or on Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey,
Comment.
if
Yeah,
you're watching
that's
this,
how you do it.
if you're
Anyway.
watching on YouTube, you can follow us on YouTube.
If you see me in the
subscribe.
street, you can say hey.
Yeah, any sort of those things.
Hey.
But if you have a question, send it over to Brian at PXLPTS and we'll read it online, on air,
Online or
Online.
Will we read it
Online.
online?
on air.
We will.
But we're going to take a
originally
quick
online.
break, come back with what we're doing on the site, our Twitter handles, and all that jazz, so stay tuned.
Holster on
Nice.
Brian. She's like in a game or some shit. Brian, throw up. You have to get it in the right spot.